Are they trapped in the house with his dog? Jesus.
Dude, literally.
Standing in my driveway getting ready to evacuate.
People from LA are not exaggerating when they say that they're seeing fires at the Pacific Palisades. Holy cow, guys. These LA fires are crazy. Canada, this is breaking news, guys. Canada triggers a U.S. war warning, at least according to some of the commentators on CNN. And guess who they're trying to pin the blame on?
It's ours. We're going to be changing, sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory.
So Trump just shook up the world stage again, hinting at taking over Canada, Greenland, and even Panama Canal. Meanwhile, declaring the Gulf of Mexico should now be called the Gulf of America. Global threats? Oh, he is ready to put everybody on notice. Love him or hate him, but Trump's not pulling any punches. And people are already losing it, guys. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, the Palisades, they're in chaos right now. A raging wildfire is fueled by a violent windstorm and has already forced 30,000 people to evacuate, including many A-list celebrities like J.Lo, to have to flee their $10 million mansions as these fires and flames are creeping up closer and closer to Hollywood. But get this, get this, guys. J.Lo, Jennifer Lopez's Unstoppable premiere, well, that is totally derailed. In fact, is this Mother Nature sending a message, or is this just like one more thing for people to blame on climate change and global warming? Y'all let me know down below. But everybody's got an opinion, and I want to hear yours. I mean, is Trump flexing on Canada, or could this actually be in Canada's best interest to become one of the 51st states of the United States? Y'all let me know what you think about this. And what do you think about celebrities living in these very fire-prone zones in California, on the West Coast, LA, Hollywood, and the Palisades? Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Let's jump in.
The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name. And it's appropriate. It's appropriate. And Mexico has to stop allowing millions of people to pour into our country. They can stop them. And we're going to put very serious tariffs on Mexico and Canada.
What do you guys think about that? The name change, Trump's idea to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That'd be kind of cool. That would be a lot of history books they're going to have to be updating, a lot of websites. But y'all let me know. These wildfires are crazy. Look at the smoke, guys. Isn't this just insane? I mean, you're just driving down the street. I mean, and you just see this massive fireball. I can't even begin to understand what these people might be going through right now. So apparently there's a biodefense mode. Joseph says, when biodefense mode actually comes in handy for the Palisades fire in LA, this Tesla is literally saving my life. Never buying another brand ever again. Wow. Check this out. Does anybody understand how this biodefense works? Check out this screen here on the Tesla here. I don't know if it's like sealing off like the air supply so that it doesn't allow the toxins into the cabin of the Tesla, but
welcome to Inside Politics. That was over an hour of Donald Trump giving a news conference, answering questions, and giving us some new information about what he intends to do, or at the very least is not ruling out when he takes office, including not ruling out a military invasion to conquer Greenland, the Panama Canal, and perhaps the annexation of the country of Canada. There is a lot more to discuss. We have a terrific panel here. Caitlin Collins, you are our chief White House correspondent, in addition to all of your other titles. What's that?
13 more days to go.
Yeah, okay. But you obviously have been covering Donald Trump for a very long time.
Oh, yeah, Caitlin, you've been covering Donald Trump. We know how much you love him.
Before I get to you, I do want to play David.
Wow, Caitlin Collins. She's got some Pantene Pro V hair. I mean, look at the shine. I mean, like she could literally probably do some shampoo and conditioner commercials. Even though some people say she looks like a dude, I don't know.
Sanger, our friend at the New York Times, his question about the Panama Canal and on Greenland and Donald Trump's response before you respond.
No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion, more so maybe than the hostages. The hostages were a big deal.
Okay, so the question is, Caitlin.
Is that why Jimmy Carter lost the election?
How much of this is Donald Trump trying to negotiate and posturing and warning them? And how much do you really think he means it, particularly given the fact that a big part of his consistent campaign message for 8 years has been, I'm going to get us out of wars?
Well, I mean, it was an extraordinary moment, one of the most extraordinary moments of that press conference where he was refusing to rule out using military force to retake the Panama Canal, something that he himself brought up, I should note, in this press conference when a reporter later asked, why are you bringing this up? Obviously, it's a signature achievement of Jimmy Carter's. He's about to be lying in state here in Washington. Trump said he was asked about it, but Trump brought it up in his opening remarks. It's something that
But is Trump really threatening war here? I mean, come on, guys. Art of the deal, Trump, okay? Like this guy is like a top negotiator, right? Billionaire Trump. He knows how to work with other business people. There's negotiations required all the time. I don't know if this is really a war threat. You know what I mean? I'm almost thinking that this might be more like, we're not going to rule it out. Possibly. And here's what could have happened, right? And I've seen this before, right? Sometimes you're in a dealership and you want to negotiate a good deal. You can literally, and I've seen people do this. I know people who have literally had other people pretend to be another dealership while they're sitting with a salesperson, call their phone, and the person who's negotiating the deal answers the phone on speakerphone while their friend is acting like they're a dealer, and they say that they're willing to offer this car for a much lower price than the current dealership price is asking, right? This is it's basically creating a fake, it's creating essentially the sense that, hey, there's a better opportunity out here. You better give this guy the best deal. A similar strategy could be used here. Trump could have theoretically had someone in the audience say, hey, would you be open to going to war over this? Knowing Trump is likely not interested in going to war, Trump campaigned on not going to war, not starting wars, right? Not going into wars. So I don't think that that's really what he wants to do. And it could have been a smart play for Trump because it really wasn't like Trump actually said that. It was more like the question was proposed to him and he simply responded that it's not out of the question.
he's been quite fixated on behind the scenes, from what I've heard from sources in the past few weeks on this issue, complaining about Chinese influence. Obviously, this was a signature achievement of Jimmy Carter's. He believed it improved relations with Latin America for the United States. And still, it's one of his biggest accomplishments that people talk about. But Trump there saying that he would not rule out using military force to retake it is not something that should be treated as with bluster. I mean, Trump is coming into this White House and is intentionally staffing his administration with aides who will not block what he wants to do or what he ultimately seeks. There were many instances in his first term where he wanted to do something, but advisors either convinced him not to or Republican lawmakers did. That is not going to be the same Washington that we are encountering in 13 days from now when Trump takes office. So I would treat everything he said there quite seriously. I mean, moments after he said he wanted to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that she's going to advocate for that. But I do want to say one of the biggest things.
But is there anything wrong with that? I mean, like, it's what we decide to label it. You know what I mean? Like, it is America on one side. Sure, it's Mexico on the other side. But if we decide to call it one thing, if we decide to call it, the Gulf of America, what's wrong with that? I mean, does anyone see any issues with that?
It stood out to me from that press conference, from moments when Trump got out there before he even started taking questions, is the level of anger.
He's really agitated.
Well, we know why.
Okay, guys. So this is where they begin to try to talk Trump up as this hothead. You know how they do, liberal media, mainstream media. They want to talk Trump as this hothead, this angry guy, and make you feel like Trump is just this loose cannon. And I think at this point, going forward, they kind of blow it out of proportion a little bit. But you guys, you be the judge of that. Let me know if I'm overreacting on that. Listen.
From moments when Trump got out there before he even started taking questions, is the level of anger.
He's really agitated.
Well, we know why. He made it quite clear a few moments in. It's two things. It's his legal issues overall, but it's the sentencing that he is facing on Friday that so far is still, Judge Merchan has denied efforts to delay it. His attorneys are still working to do so. And two, it's this report by Jack Smith that we are told is imminent and is going to come out. Trump was informed during that Judge Cannon down in Florida has tried to temporarily block that. Well, it's not a settled matter. We'll see if it's successful. But his level of anger over that is unmistakable. He has not been this angry since he won the election.
Well, can anybody imagine why Trump might be upset? I mean, just think about it for a second. Whether you love him or hate him, just think about this for a second. Let's just pretend you're being attacked and you're dealing with fake lawsuits that can either fine you, essentially stealing money from you, or they can put you in jail. Wouldn't you be a little irritated if you had to deal with these things and everyone and their mom knows that these are fake cases that would never, ever have been brought if it weren't for Trump running for president of the United States of America? I think he gets a pass, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he doesn't get a pass. Y'all let me know.
And John, I want.
Matter of fact, look in the comments and you see what other people are saying. Look in the comments and see what other people are saying. Should Trump get a pass for might possibly being a little irritated dealing with all these fake lawsuits? Meanwhile, he's got inauguration in a 2-week period and he's still dealing with all this nonsense. Unbelievable.
Wanted to intentionally start a little bit micro on Panama and on Greenland, particularly since his son is in Greenland as we speak. But I do want to sort of open it up a little and talk big picture about your takeaway from, as Caitlin just said.
It is remarkable. Somebody who is 2 weeks from resuming the presidency of the United States, who, whether you voted for him or not, whether you like him or not, just engineered a remarkable historical political comeback, is so whiny and so full of grievances. Now, that is Donald Trump's trademark. That has been his trademark since he came down that escalator. He uses grievance to keep his people together, to keep his base together, and to keep his team loyal. But he came out, clearly, his lawyers had access to the Jack Smith report at a private meeting here in Washington, D.C. They have briefed him on it. He is going to now try to use every legal power he can to prevent its release. You could see how angry he was about it. There's the sense.
But why is there so much effort? Why is there so much time in this conversation being spent about Trump allegedly being angry? Like, why does this hold any value to anybody at all?
On Friday, he was beating up on Joe Biden, who, yes, is using his powers on the way out to sign executive orders to do things that Donald Trump fundamentally disagrees with.
As Trump also did.
As Trump also did. Welcome to American politics. But talking about how he's inheriting a mess. He's inheriting the strongest economy in the world. It has troubles. It has potholes. It has issues. But he's inheriting the strongest economy in the world. And the Biden team is working with him as.
Is it not a mess, though? I mean, think about how many billions of dollars did we send overseas to all these other countries, right? Look at Ukraine, massive recipient of American taxpayer dollars to the tune of billions. I think it's hundreds of billions of dollars. Then let's not forget about how quickly inflation and gas prices spiked. Almost immediately after Joe Biden decided to add sanctions to Russia, and all it did was essentially backfire on Americans. All of our expenses almost immediately went up once they eliminated Russia, because now all of a sudden Russia had to get more strategic. They ended up doing more business with other countries that would normally have done business with the United States, but instead they cut these other countries' deals to essentially do more business with Russia. Russia didn't really lose money, honestly. The sanctions were more of a punishment for us. And then all this did was expose the fiat currency of the United States, the US dollar, to all these other nations that are now going hard on investing in building out this BRICS nations currency so that they don't have to deal with US dollars. Look at Saudi Arabia. They're making it so that they don't necessarily transact in US dollars. All this sanction did was weaken the US dollar. It made basically all expenses for Americans much more expensive. This was a bad play. This was a bad move.
As Donald Trump's own negotiator acknowledged, on the very difficult issues in the Middle East, about hostage releasing and about trying to finally bring about a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. His negotiator was very polite and respectful of the Biden administration. Trump was quite scornful and not factual.
Can I just...
Dang. So now they're fact checking Trump again. We need to fact check the fact checkers.
I thought that was like a bookend to the interview Susie Wiles did, who was also very respectful when she talked to Axios about Jeff Zients, the current White House chief of staff. So you have Steve Witkoff on one end talking about working so well with the Biden team in tandem on an issue as fraught as trying to get these hostages out. You had Susie Wiles on the front end yesterday saying that the chief of staff, the current Biden chief of staff, is doing everything very kind, and yet in the middle of all that, you have Donald Trump trying to gin up this notion, to your point about grievance, saying that they're throwing everything at this to make this a very difficult transition.
Everybody's still out to get him. He just won an election, and then he questioned the election again, too. It was too big to rig, he said. He won the election. He won the popular vote. He should be celebrating. He should be coming into Washington. Yes, he has very narrow majorities in the House and the Senate. It's going to be difficult to get things done, but this should be someone who is upbeat and happy to come in, but he is still full of grievances because it is his organizing principle. But there are a lot of lies in there. That was a trailer. That was an hour-long trailer for the next 4 years, in that he tells a lot of lies. He hedges, he exaggerates and hypes a lot of things. But he also made a ton of news there. You're right. You're right about that.
Man, this is just like I mean, it's like nonstop attack. It's funny how much just pure uninformed, opinionated spewing of content that it's taking place right here. And it's like, dude, like, how about you just share the facts? Like, we don't need your personal opinions of Trump. Like, what do we need to understand? What do we need to know that's coming down the pipeline, right? So anyway, I mean, there's just constant attacks, right? But so check this out. So this powerful windstorm has fueled massive wildfires in California's Pacific Palisades and is forcing residents, including several celebrities, to have to evacuate as these flames are literally just like destroying California. They're destroying the Palisades, right? And so they're calling this the Palisades fire. And this started actually Tuesday morning, not too long ago. And the flames are currently threatening over 10,000 homes. Now, again, 30,000 residents were forced to evacuate. The fire, it's just raging, and it's quickly spread to like 2,900 acres with zero containment. Now, this is according to the Los Angeles County Fire Department, guys. Now, among the evacuees, you got A-listers like Ben Affleck, you got Tom Hanks, you got Gene Aiko, you got Miles Teller, you got reality TV star Spencer Pratt, and of course his wife Heidi Montage. They all left their home to the fire. Now, I don't know if they're, 10, 20, $30 million homes are going to get burned up in the fire, but they had to leave, just to take the precautions, because some of those homes are just not going to make it. Authorities have issued evacuation orders, warning of an immediate threat to life in the affluent coastal community. So a lot of residents have just decided, hey, they've abandoned their luxury cars, including Teslas, BMWs, Lexuses, and Mercedes. And the first responders, they work to clear the road for fire crews to be able to get through to address this tornado of fire. I mean, it is crazy going on over there. How many of you guys are watching from California? Are you seeing any of the smoke? Have you heard from friends or family out there? Let me know, guys. The Los Angeles City Council President Marquise Harris Dawson declared a state of emergency, cautioning that the worst of the windstorm is still to come. In fact, neighboring Santa Monica, evacuation orders were issued in areas north of San Vincent Boulevard. Then you got Governor Gavin Newsom. He's also declared a state of emergency, while President Joe Biden expressed some concern, stating that he is monitoring the situation closely. Biden confirmed federal support through a fire management assistance grant to help California cover immediate firefighting costs. And he urged residents to follow evacuation orders and to stay safe. Meanwhile, a second wildfire erupted in, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, Altadena, north of Los Angeles, burning at least 400 acres and prompting even more evacuations. With roads clogged and flames spreading rapidly, the situation remains critical, and a lot of residents are bracing for more challenges in the days ahead. But this is crazy. Some people are saying, like, the city of angels is the cause of this, right? And all the sin that is, engaged in the area. And so it's like the land is cursed. I've read so many weird things online about this. It's crazy what some people are saying. Let me know if you think it's true. Let me know if you think it's like superstition, hocus pocus, or whatever. But let's be clear. This is a very serious situation. Anyway, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel for more content like this. You guys should see some content. You should see some new videos coming up here in just a second. Check out those suggested videos. And